Hey, Michelle. You've been playing really well with that pink string you got in your racket. And I've been noticing lately you've been working hard, training hard, hitting the ball hard. But we get out here today and you say, oh, I just want to have a casual hit, take it nice and easy. But you know what I think? Now's not the time to get soft. Not today, not now. We're not going soft.
Haven't you heard? We are going soft. This is Solinco Confidential Soft.
I guess we're going soft then.
Solinco Confidential Soft takes everything players loved about the original Confidential and adds even more comfort and a lively feel. You still get the 5-edge shape and slick surface that helps strings snap back for easy, heavy spin, but with added forgiveness thanks to softening agents. The result is a spin-friendly co-poly that delivers control without feeling harsh. And let's be honest, the hot pink doesn't hurt either. Welcome to the Tennis Warehouse string review of Solinco Confidential Soft. You've got Troy and I today, and we've been playtesting this string a bunch, but today I have it strung up in the Babolat Pure Aero 98. This is the 2026 version. I have a little customization going on, and of course in the Wilson RF 97. Troy, what are you working with?
So for the rackets, I have the whiteout extended 18 by 20, as well as E-Zone 98 Plus. In the tight 1820, I have the 17 gauge, a little thinner. And in the E-Zone 98 Plus, I have the 16L. And for tension, I went 48 pounds on the whiteout with the dense pattern and 50 on the E-Zone 98 Plus. What did you do for tension?
I went around, I tried it at 55. I actually dropped it a little. I'm trying to lean into some new stuff. So 52, 53 was really great for me.
Nice. So first off, let's go into what we thought for power versus control with this new Solinco Poly. And for me, comparing it directly to the original Confidential, which came out quite a long time ago, I can still remember that was way back. This one here definitely does the job. It's softer feeling than regular Confidential. I also felt like with that, it gave it a little bit more energy return. Nothing that I thought was like too powerful. So it's still, to me, a pretty good control-oriented string. Now the original Confidential to me is really control-oriented, pretty dead. Comparing it to something like Solinco Mach 10, that one definitely is more powerful. So just a tone down a little bit of the regular Confidential, but still had good control for me throughout the playtest. What'd you think?
Yeah, I would completely agree. And I have to admit, since my diagnosis and my surgery, my power levels have been struggling. So I am so happy that there's a little bit more power out of this soft version of Confidential. However, compared to Mach 10, I thought Mach 10 was a little flighty in my rackets and I struggled to control it as much. So I really appreciated the power and control from Confidential Soft. I also really liked that it never felt like it bagged out or got too mushy. So maybe we can talk a little bit about the feel of it installed. I am, as I mentioned, trying some different stuff. I'm working with a little bit of a different body situation in 2026, so I have some different joint pain, and I am kind of lowering the tension to see what works best and if I can still have that control. So I was happy to find the control that I like to have at a lower tension than what I normally string at. What about you?
Yeah, I like that you're going down in tension, starting to get closer to my realm.
Yeah.
I think it's just better overall for the arms. But in terms of the feel of this string, like I said, definitely a little softer than the regular Confidential, which is a pretty firm, like I said, dead feeling as far as power. But I wouldn't say this is your typical like really soft poly. And with a lot of those really soft ones, they tend to get a little mushy. Like you said, they can really start to feel like they're launching the ball. They also can notch really easy. I thought this one to me is nice in the fact that it's a little softer, but in the overall spectrum of polys, I would say it's kind of right in the medium range, you know? And a Tennis Warehouse University, sort of that around that 200 realm is above that's when you start getting really stiff. Below that is when you notice the softer polys, and I thought this one was really a nice middle ground for me.
Absolutely. I'm gonna jump into spin if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
I have been loving this Pure Aero 98 because it kind of keeps my balls nice and tight, but I can still hit low over the net. And I thought this Confidential Soft actually complemented the racket's features perfectly. Again, I'm not hitting a ton of RPMs. It's hard for me to even get above 1,000 RPMs when I'm grinding and trying to hit the ball nice and flat and hard. But again, I thought I could hit really tight. And then when I want to, something I've been enjoying a lot, especially when we've been playing dingles, is pulling people into the Tennis Warehouse walls. And I had all the access to spin I could possibly want. So I was super happy. I didn't have any issues, no shortcomings. It's pretty spin friendly.
Yeah, I would say overall, I would agree. And one thing for me, I don't think the shape's any different from the regular Confidential, but maybe it was just something I noticed because I strung it a lot in a lot of rackets, is that the texture of the string, it just felt a little grippier. Like maybe it just felt like a little more gear shaped compared to regular Confidential. So I thought that was good for topspin. It felt like I could grab the ball, hit those kind of cross-court shots that you're talking about in dingles, like when you wanted to put me into the wall on those cross-court shots. But topspin was good. I got good net clearance. I wouldn't say maybe, you know, just for me, it doesn't give me this max topspin. Maybe like I feel like I get with Hyper G. I feel like I get like a little more shape. But overall, I was really impressed with the spin potential, had no complaints, and it was pretty predictable.
Awesome. And then lastly, let's talk a little bit about playability duration and tension maintenance. We know that I'm always the worst about cutting my strings out, but what I love about Solinco strings is they're usually pretty consistent through our play test. So there was never a point in the test where I thought, oh, these strings have gone dead. They're absolutely worthless. I could keep them in there until there was an opportunity to get my rackets restrung. So I thought the playability and the duration of these strings qualities were pretty on par with other Solinco strings, but you usually are a little more dialed into that. So what'd you think?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I talk about it all the time. I've used Solinco for a long time, Hyper G, Confidential. I like the Hyper Mock mix, but pretty much all their polys seem to hold up really well over time. I thought this one held up tension-wise and kept that control throughout the playtest better than Mach 10. Maybe not quite as good as Hyper G, which I think is a little bit firmer, but playability duration was consistent. Usually after about like a week and a half to 2 weeks, I cut out and then I restring my frames pretty frequently, but this one gave me good playability, and unlike other really soft polys, I never felt like the ball was gonna fly on me too much, and I didn't think the strings got too mushy, so I like that about it.
Yeah, well, to wrap this one up, I'm personally really enjoying the Confidential Soft. I think the pink is really fun, so I'm having a lot of fun with it. I could see myself replacing Hyper G with Confidential Soft. So those are my closing thoughts. What about you, Troy?
That's big words.
Those are big words.
I don't know if it's gonna replace Hyper G for me overall, but in certain rackets, especially like this whiteout 1820, the dense pattern, it's probably my favorite string in it, the 17 gauge. In this, at the tension I found, it gives me a little bit more pop in this dense pattern. I would say in a more open pattern or a more powerful racket, I still maybe would favor Hyper G, but all in all, really impressive from Solinco, and I enjoyed it throughout the test.
Nice, well, that's all we've got today. If you guys have further questions, let us know, but to go get your hands on some Solinco Confidential Soft, be sure to visit us at Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, or Tennis Only.